Grand Rising Soul Tribe, Tracy here with Sweet Spot e-magazine. Thank you so very much for the likes, shares, views, subscribes, the comments, the generous donations. Latasha, thank you so very much. I appreciate it all. Let's go ahead and ring the bell. Let's go ahead and clear out this energy. Let's be thankful it's Friday, and let's see what the message the Spirit has for us. AJ Mike. You know, it's like somebody just got it. That little ding, they just got it. See, initially when you walked away, they let you go because they felt like you was just trying to prove a point. Like you was trying to show them something. And you were. And that point was well proved. God is real. The Most High is definitely real. They understand that was the point that you were trying to prove. Bottom of the deck. Six of Pentacles. This is that giving and receiving. This is this somebody feeling like I said, like you was trying to dish something out. And you were. You were dishing out the fact that they needed to connect with God. They needed to understand that God has the final say. It's not man. No matter how much they want to think it is, that somebody's so powerful. Like they say, like that song, your arms are too short to box with God. See, confirmation. Somebody's understanding that, they should have done more to not physically fight, but protect themselves or to defend themselves against this emperor. Hey, Malcolm. Someone had to realize that, that every time that this person spoke, they shouldn't have listened. Because everything that this person said was not the truth, and it wasn't worth listening to. That person that spoke only said shit to cause chaos, to cause confusion, to lie about somebody, to upset somebody's character, to cause heartbreak and heartache, to make somebody doubt someone else, to make it seem like they was just the best thing since sliced bread whenever they was the worst thing since moldy bread. Hey, Achan. Thank you so much. Somebody's understanding now how they got themselves in this position. It's almost like instead of them accepting the position that they should have been in, where they, worked hard to get ahead, they, got it up from the mud, how they, were honorable and honest, integrity, responsible. They see that it wasn't like that. Hey, High Priestess, I'm glad. Someone now understands that them living that lie has ruined their life. You can believe somebody else's lie and take actions because somebody else lied and realize that you ruined your entire life based on a lie. Hey, lies never stuck. Somebody realizes that somebody, when they were lying, they didn't care how much pressure they was putting on somebody else. They didn't care how horrible it was, or how they are creating mountains out of little ant hills. Hey, K Hypsee. Now somebody wants to send a message. But, because of the choice that they made and the path that they went on, they're not sure if you're even going to accept their message. Somebody is in regret. They're in regret for even taking this stance, for even having this idea that what somebody else was saying had any weight to it. They're realizing now they should have held back. They should have held you close. They should have held your secrets. Especially whenever it came to you. But instead of them holding your secrets or holding back what was important to you, they held back from you. And they lied to you. They weren't honorable. See, this person, they thought that they was going to get some type of victory, like they was going to get some sort of prize. But whenever you left, they realized that was not the truth. Hey, Lightworker William, how are you? They realized that you were the only one that was strong enough to get the victory. Because you knew what was going on. Your third eye told you. You received the downloads. Your chakras are all open. You understood what was happening in real time. Hey, Her Tarot, Fool's Journey podcast. How are you? This is why the Wheel of Fortune was turning in your favor. And like I said, somebody else realized that they put themselves in this position. There was no loyalty with you. They realize now they should have never, ever listened to this player, this magician, this person that felt like they could pull a rabbit out of a hat. Because now they see that rabbit, it was a fake rabbit. It was one of those little rabbits that you buy at the grocery store on Easter. You know, the little marshmallow ones that you can eat. It was like that. Nothing that was going to be, oh my gosh, that's so inspiring. Oh my gosh, that looks so real. Hey, baby Yoda. How are you? Hi, Crystal Healing Self-Love. How are you, sweetie? They're thinking about everything that they invested in, everything that they did. And the only thing that they accomplished was having you block them, having you not trust them, having you not around when they absolutely positively need you the most. Grand Rising Addie, how are you, sister? See, someone should have believed you when you were speaking, because you were coming to them with truth. Like I said, you received this person. That's like they was told not to believe you, like you was just making shit up whenever you said, oh no, I see this happening, or I feel this way, or I got this feeling. You were coming to them, telling them to be careful in certain things. Like, if it was a certain night and you said, no, don't drink and drive. The police are out there. I feel it, or hey, be careful of that person. That person is not right for you. They felt like you was just making shit up, just to make shit up. But now someone understands that not only did you have discernment, you had discernment because you were spiritually gifted. You could see things with your eyes closed. You see how both of them have their eyes closed and they see it. They feel it. It's like they know it. Somebody wants to come to you. They do want to apologize because judgment has been called. They know that you were the empress and how they, would have done better working with you as opposed to having some idea, some plan to hold something back from you. They was living that pie in the sky type of dream. They was like on this fool's journey looking for fool's gold. Somebody thought that they knew the way, listening to somebody else. That they was on their way chasing this star, only to find out that wasn't a star at all. That was an optical illusion. Whatever they did, thinking that they was going to get the easy way out, they had to realize there is no easy way. You either work hard for it, not meaning that you have to work physically hard for it, but you have to work spiritually hard for it. You have to be an intellectual. You have to think about what you're doing before you do it, because there are no second chances. Once you say it, you can't take it back. Once you break it, you cannot unbreak it. Once you prove yourself to be disloyal, it takes a long time for someone to feel like you can be loyal to them again. Someone realizes that they should have worked with you because you are that true star. They thought they was chasing that star. They realized that star is you. You are everything that they ever needed. And they fucked that up. Confirmation. And they fucked it up. Somebody, they understand the importance of God now. Now they get it. Now they understand why you left. Now they understand the point that you were trying to prove. God is real. That's who they need to love first and foremost. And then they need to love themselves second. And everybody else will fall in line behind that. Because they're going to listen to God, and God's going to tell them who was worthy and who was worthless. Hey, Carla. Most importantly, they need to listen to the truth. Whether that is the truth being downloaded, whether that is God sending someone there to tell them what the truth is, they need to be open to hearing. Someone now feels that it's time for them to leave this gossiping group, to leave those who fed them the lies. And they're not doing it out of malice. They're just doing it because they need a better perspective of life. They need that peace. They need stability. And they're never going to get it if they're around those people that gossip. Say something just for the sake of saying something. Hey, Brenda. Hey, Carla. This is why somebody decided it was time for them to leave everything that they thought was exciting, daring, dashing. Because now they realize it was just dumb. It was just stupidity. It wasn't wise. It was just a flash in the pan. It was like something to do. You know, this excitement, this inspiration, this way that somebody felt like that lied to them and told them, I can show you the way. I got the way. Follow me. Come on, follow me. They realized this person was just a witch. Hold on. Yeah, just a liar. Thank you, J. Mike. This is somebody who didn't know the way themselves, because they're finding it this person wasn't even healed on the inside. We're still trying to create chaos on the outside. And yet they were fine. They were fine listening to that chaotic whirlwind of lies. They realized, you know what? They should have stuck with you. That you had what they needed. You was that kindred spirit. You were responsible. You've always been responsible. You've always been respectful, respectable. You always had that level of integrity. No matter what, you were going to tell the truth. Even if it meant that you were left out, even if it meant that you didn't get, even if it meant that people walked away from you, you always were going to tell the truth. That's why you are free. They remember this now. They're thinking about it hard now. That freeness, that carefree spirit, that I don't feel tied down, that I don't feel any pressure, I don't have those worries on my back, it's because you told the truth. You always told the truth. And see, somebody thought that something was wrong with you. Like, why is this? Why don't they just fudge the numbers? Why don't they should have just made something up. They was listening to the wrong person. I wouldn't have been admitted to that ever. I would have just went with that. I wouldn't have said this. I wouldn't have said that. But you knew that there was no fudging the numbers. There was no making shit up. Because had you said this today, only for the truth to come out tomorrow, they'd have been looking at you like you crazy, like you a liar. You always remain balanced. Like I said, you wasn't gonna say any lie. And if you did in your younger days say something that wasn't the truth, you corrected it later because you understood you had something to prove to you and nothing to prove to anyone else. See, people, they don't sit there and give anyone credit when someone says, you know what, okay, I lied, but I'm coming and I'm telling you the truth, and I want you to realize this is the truth because I'm willing to do this to this and this and this to back it up for it to come to pass, so that you understand what I'm talking about, so that you see that you can trust me, as opposed to continuing to live a fucking lie. And then when the truth comes out, somebody's like, why wouldn't you tell me the truth? Was I not worthy of the truth? Somebody understands now why you went on, so that they can learn the lesson, so that they can get the karma that they deserve, so that they could understand exactly what you was talking about, so that you wouldn't be there when the lightning struck them, because you didn't want the lightning to strike you too. You wasn't afraid to go into the forest by yourself. You wasn't afraid to go on your journey. You knew you was going to be happy regardless. You was going to get your wish fulfillment regardless, because you honored God first and you second. And you knew everything else and everyone else would fall in line behind that. Somebody, they had to go within. They had to really, really go within and look at themselves. They had to really think about stuff. They had to look at stuff closely. They had to look at everything. They had to think about everything that you said, everything you stand for. And then they looked at that other person. The other person that was flashy, was showboating, was, I wouldn't have said that. I would have never admitted to that. I say, let it ride. Let it ride. Hey, Latasha, thank you so very much. They had to look at all of that. And then they had to realize that's where they got caught up at. That's what stopped their forward movement. That's what stopped their ascension. That's what stopped their healing. Now they realize it. Now they understand it. Now they understand why you had to leave, so that they could get it. They understand now that they was part of that chaos, that they was fighting with themselves. They was fighting to believe a lie. They had to realize that, you know what, everything that comes around, that goes around, everything was coming out, regardless if somebody was trying so hard for it not to come out. All the lies, all the mischief, everything that should not have been believed, it was coming out. The universe will always balance itself. Always. There's not going to be ever a day or a way that the universe is going to be lopsided like this. No. Somebody may seem like it's like this, but it's always going to balance itself out. Everything, like they say, everything that goes on in the dark will come to the light. Don't make a difference how long. They understand this, that they should have been more of a leader and not a follower. That they should have understood that, you know what? As a leader, you understand when someone is speaking the truth, you can respect that. You respect them for that. And you want to follow that. That way, somebody would have been happy. And they wouldn't have been in this position where they're at right now, trying to think, damn, why did I do this? Why did I don't know why I did all that. You know, I should have. Because it don't make a difference. Once the truth come out and somebody's being seen or shown to be a liar, it don't make a difference. All that shit that they said before that, they're like, yeah, okay, yeah, bye, boy. Girl, bye. Can't nobody trust you. Don't nobody want to work with you. See, somebody, they realize now they should have put them swords down as opposed to trying to come to you. And now they don't have nothing to say. What do you have to say? Besides, damn, I fucked up. You know? Somebody was told that they was like I said, it was fighting with themselves, trying so hard to believe this liar. Hey, Red Violet. That's where that upset, that's where that anguish, that's where that fury, that rage was coming from. Because you know whenever it's the truth, and your insides know when it's the truth. Your insides know when it's a lie. And their insides was like, oh, you still trying to believe that? Okay, let me do something else to you too. That's what they was trying to deal with on the inside of them. So trying so hard, fighting themselves so hard to believe a lie because they knew it was a lie. But they felt like they had to please and appease someone else for that liar to feel comfortable. No. That liar needs to feel what they need to feel. The ramifications of their own actions. Because that liar don't care about you. If they did, they would have never lied to you. That's what somebody had to realize. That's not love. That's the exact opposite. If they loved you, they would have never lied to you. If they lie to you and they never tell you the truth, what does that say about them and how they truly feel about you? That's the truth. Someone expected something to come in, and it did come in. Something that was manipulative, something that was backstabbing, something that was meant to take them down, something that was hurtful, something that was harmful, something that was not for them. That's what came in. Now this person is all in their feelings, trying to think why. I feel like that's the question that they have is why? Like, how did they not see this was going to turn out like this? How did they miss this? How did they miss that? And this person is, like I said, really in their feelings right now because they know with these eight cups that they hold that they got left in the muck, left in the mire, left in the chaos, left to deal with that lie. This is why this person cannot sleep. This is why they can't let it go. Because they know whenever you was sitting here trying to balance it out, when you was telling them the truth, when you was trying to lead the way, when you was trying to guide them to a much better, safer, happier place, when you was trying to let them know happiness lives with God, happiness is God, I'm trying to teach you something. Whenever you was telling them about stability and trying to show them that you were stable, they decided to take the easy way out. Only to feel left out. Only to feel like a fool for believing a lie when they knew it was a lie. Hey, LP. Yes, Red Violet, it is finally Friday. I've been waiting all week for this day to get here. What's the message, Spirit? It's like you know when somebody's lying to you, but we try to believe it. We try to make believe it like it's going to make us happy. No, it's never going to make you happy. It's always going to have the opposite effect. Because then when the truth does come out and people are starting to look like fools. Oh my, people are starting to look like liars. People are looking like, oh, don't trust them, don't talk to them. We don't want to be around you. Then somebody want to go, damn, why did I do this to myself? Someone is sitting here thinking they had it all. Why did they betray themselves? Why did they put all this undue pressure to believe something that wasn't even the truth? To sit here and believe somebody who wasn't even truthful. This was an enemy. This wasn't no friend. Now somebody is sitting here, like I said, with this the 8 of Wands and the 2 of Wands, and still the same type of pressure. 10 Wands is still 10 Wands, but now they're wondering, why they didn't listen to you when you was trying to tell them, no, don't listen to that information. That's not right. That information is wrong. They made that choice anyway. You was telling them, don't believe the hype. That's gossip. Come to me for the truth. I'm gonna tell you the truth. I'm gonna lead you to calmer waters. I'm gonna tell you the truth. That way you can rest your mind, rest your soul, rest your spirit. Go on with a better trajectory. Hey Noni. Hey Kenta, how are you? What's the message? Pressure is pressure. Don't pressure yourself because you're trying to make it so that somebody else feel good about you believing what the fuck they lying about. Come on now. Crystal, oh, thank you so very much. I really do appreciate you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you so much, Crystal Healing Self-Love. And that's what somebody need to understand. It's that self-love. That's what keeps you on the straight and narrow. That's what keeps you straight. Ain't nobody ever been dropped because they was truthful. People have been dropped because they lied. Everybody that, if you was married and you was caught cheating, they didn't leave you because you was faithful. They left you because you was lying and you was cheating. You lied to them. You lied to the person that when you was cheating with. You lied to the kids. You lied to your parents, their parents. You lied to the mutual friends. You was a liar. That's why somebody got left. People don't get fired from the job because they tell the truth. They got fired from the job because they lied. See, somebody's thinking about everything that they put out, where they should have put their money at, who they should have bet on. They're thinking about who they should have put their money on. Are you going to put your money on the horse that's destined to come in last and got a hurt leg and an overweight horse jockey? Or you going to put your money on the one who is destined to be the winner, is destined to come in first? It's young, it's spry. I mean, what you putting your money on? Somebody realized, because something came back around. Something that they didn't think was going to come back around came back around. And lo and behold, the truth about this lie came out. And then they want to gasp. What? What you gasping for? We knew it was going to come back around. That's why you was like, okay, that's what you want to do? All right. I'll be over there. What's the message, Spirit? No, I'm going to have a mimosa tomorrow. So I'll definitely have a full mimosa tomorrow. Thank you so very much. What's the message, Spirit? It's like the example of, back in the day, mama's baby, daddy's maybe. The mama, she knew. The daddy, he knew. The child, they knew. If Your parents is dark complected, but one of them come out looking like they blonde hair and blue eyes. That's no recessive gene. You know what I'm saying? But yet you want to sit here and lie to everybody, especially the child. Oh no, I'm gonna let it ride. They'll never find out. Only to find out that there was some type of medical condition that they got from their biological father that they couldn't explain why I'm sick or why I got this or why I got that. Where'd that come from? Well, that's something that's passed down from generation to generation. No, neither one of my parents had that. Well, it's because one of them is not your parent. And then whenever the mama finally do say, well, what had happened was the mailman came around, your daddy was at work, and I don't know what I was drinking, and then they sit there and tell the truth. That hurts. Because it's like that child is like, well, you lied. Why didn't you ever tell me the truth? And then the father that knew wasn't the truth, they like, well, you know what? I'm leaving you. I always knew this wasn't the truth, but I was trying to go along. Somebody had finally come to grips about something after so long. And it has to do with loyalty and who they should have been loyal to. This King of Cups, I'm telling you, this King of Cups, somebody walked away from them because they look sad, sick, busted, and disgusted. The truth finally came out about this lie that they had been trying to act like they believed whenever they fucking didn't believe it. Now when it's like after you, the whole world crashes down around you, that's whenever you decide that you ready to get it together, as opposed to getting it together before the whole world crashes down around you. But I guess that's the best time. That's when people have to realize that God is real. There is no faking the funk. There is no half stepping. There is nothing like that. Yeah. See, something that somebody said never came in. It never came to pass. Never came to pass. The only thing that came to pass was how they got themselves caught up with the wrong one. How they allowed themselves to believe this devilish, demonic, lying ass motherfucker. Hey, Yolanda. How they sat there and allow somebody to trick them out their spot. How they allow somebody to make it seem like it's almost, you could have been, it was your great did have blonde hair. Confirmation. Knowing that it wasn't. Now that somebody understand what you was talking about, now that somebody understand the point that you was trying to make, they get it now. They get why you were so happy, why you didn't even argue, why you would have said, oh, okay, well, hey, I'm good with it. You good with it? I'm good with it. I'm going to go on my way. You wasn't even trying to argue or nothing. You went on your way. You was happy. You was secure. You was stable. You was receiving blessings. But most of all, you was using your own intuition because you knew that somebody who was just trying to double and triple and quadruple down was going to be found out. And that ass was found the fuck out. Now somebody feel like they can't trust them and they need to defend themselves against them because now they know the truth. Oh, thank you so very much. I am the Empress. Thank you. Now they understand they should have been trying to protect themselves from this motherfucking liar when they knew the motherfucker was lying. This is why they say this person got diabetes. Because they lie. They lie for the sake of lying. You can't trust them if they say, how you doing this morning? I'm good. Be like, they lying. They lying. Somebody, they realized, they thought that they was going to get victory if they went along with this lie. They didn't. Either way it went, it was going on with this lie. Either way it went, you still had more power than them. You were still stronger than them. The wheel of fortune was still in your favor, because that shit that they was talking about was confusing. They was forgetting some shit that they had said earlier. They was making themselves look like fools, and didn't nobody even really believe them. The shit wasn't adding up. The math wasn't mathing. This is why people understand why you said, I'm good. I'm going to be on over there protecting myself and put them on block. I'm good. What else, Spirit? I'm good. Like, you didn't want to be around the bullshit. You don't like how shit smell. What's the message? What's the message? Yep. Yeah. You chose to not just walk away. You ran away from this bullshit. From somebody who thought that they could just, do whatever. This, not even thinking shit out. They didn't hurt themselves. They hurt themselves, and now they want to come from karma, go to karma waters. Now they want to, some forgiveness, because they feel left out, because their money is funny, because they sat there and listened to old Beelzebub. Hey, the Roman Zelensky, how are you? When they should have not listened to nothing that devilish, demonic ass was saying, that this liar was lying about. But instead, they chose not to say anything to the liar, which is how they got like this with the 10 of Swords. Now, this liar is sitting here destroying their character. And I'm telling you, they looking like a real fool. They looking like they confused, like they don't have their head on straight. And people, because everybody's like, well, they knew that was the truth. They knew they knew that person wasn't telling the truth. Like, they gullible. That's what people are thinking. Like, oh, they gullible. There's nothing worse than being seen as a gullible motherfucker. Yeah, especially whenever you was sitting here telling somebody about what somebody's idea was and how they was going to execute a plan, what they was going to do. You was telling somebody, hey, this is what's going to happen. I'm telling you, they're going to try and do this. They're going to try and do that. They're going to do this and do that. But somebody doubted you. They don't doubt you no more. They don't doubt you no more. Now that they're looking gullible, like they was going to believe anything and everything, they don't doubt you no more. Especially whenever they shouldn't have believed that shit, or they listened to that shit in the first damn place. And like I said, instead of them speaking up about it, they chose not to say anything. That's why these 10 of Swords are in their back. That's why they feeling the repercussions of their own actions. What else, Spirit? What else? Anything else from this deck? Here you are with your worthiness and your happiness. You know, you wasn't worrying about somebody else. You was worrying about this person who was choosing to live a lie. But even at that point, you said, I can't be there. I can't allow myself to be taken down because somebody else refuses to wake up, because somebody else refuses to live this lie, because somebody else wants to get on this bandwagon of, well, you know, so and so said that this is the truth, so I'm just gonna go with that. I'm just gonna ride that shit out. Now they feel stupid for riding something out. Bottom of the deck, the star. Yeah, somebody thought that they was the star, or they was with the star, only to find out with this magician and this 10 of wands, they was like the star liar. You know, somebody who made a lot of promises but didn't nothing worked out. Everything that they was working on, it fell like lead balloons. Nothing worked out. Not a damn thing. You were this empress and this high priestess. You knew what time it was. You had already been through all the struggles. That's why you got your empress and crown on. And you had seen everything that was happening. And you told this person, but see, this person was after the pursuit of money and allowed themselves to be deceived. You know, you told this person it's not going to turn out the way you're thinking. You're not going to be happy. You know, but they still went along with this group, only to find out it was that group that brought them all this conflict. You know, you still got victory. And now somebody want to come back to you with the quickness, even though they made a decision and they made their choice. Now they want to return to you with the quickness. They want to send a message to you quickly. They want to talk about this choice. They want to talk about this decision that they regret. They want to talk about how everything is crumbling down around them, how they should have had some courage, how they shouldn't have been so gullible and believed everything that somebody was saying. You know, now they want to sit there and say that they understand and they believe you now when you say you an earth angel, and they just want this opportunity to balance shit back out with you because they see that with you, they was better off. Now they want to balance some shit out with you. Now that you said, okay, do what you got to do. I'm going to let you go on your little journey. I wish you well. Now that they see that you're not putting into them because you refuse to live a lie, and they're getting justice for listening to this damn witch, somebody who they was passionate, all right, but they was passionate with that spell book. They was passionate with that. Let's cast another spell. Let's see if we can do a curse. We can do this. We can do that. Now somebody's in their feelings. They think and they're looking at themselves and think, was they really getting what they wanted? They not even getting the money that they was promised. They ain't getting shit. But what comes back around is you still standing. You still looking like the truth. You still being exalted. You still being held high. And they sitting here thinking about this emperor that they decided that they was going to work with. Whenever you confirmation, whenever you told them to leave them alone. You had already been down that road. This is why you wear the crown, because you already know how to get down. But they didn't want to listen to you. They didn't want to leave this devil. because they felt like they had something to prove to the devil. Now they realizing they should have been a lot more discerning and they actually heard what you was trying to tell them, as opposed to closing everything off because you told them the truth about this bullshit that they needed to put some closure to. Now they want to sit here and have these visions of exploring life with you. Now they want to start over. They want to start over with you, and they want to travel to you after looking and feeling like a fool. Now they want to collaborate with you because the wheel of fortune ain't never stopped turning in your favor. The truth ain't ever held you back. You've always been free. This person sitting here feeling lost for who they decided that they was going to work with, but all because they was afraid to tell somebody to go fuck off. That's the last thing they should have been afraid of, to tell somebody, to tell that devil, go screw yourself, but you're not going to sit here and try and screw me. What's the message, Spirit? What's the message? Yep. The wheel of fortune ain't never stopped turning in your favor. You prepared. On your last day, you ain't even worried about it. You prepared. You already feel lighter than a feather because you know what? Like I said, the truth set you free. You already know where you going. You ain't got to worry about, oh my God, am I going to go to heaven or am I going to go to hell? Damn, I don't really know. But this one is. This one know that they lost. They know where they're going. Straight to hell. I'm a hope. Trust me, this one is sitting here trying to pick out swimsuits, all the light clothes that they can. They may be getting their hair braided so that shit don't frizz up whenever they go on down the hill because they ain't never been there yet, but they going down there and they understand it's quite hot. Because see, somebody else was afraid to work on themselves. They was afraid to work on themselves and deal with their own inner fears. Those childhood wounds. So what they should have did was invested in in themselves and freeing their heart and looking at life different and opening up their heart. Did somebody realize they didn't have the strength that they needed. And judgment is here today. And now it is too late. Everybody is seeing everything. Everything is out in the open. There's no more shadows. Everybody know what this person was doing. And now this person is feeling trapped in spiritual jail and going through hardship and conflict, serving hard time. Don't nobody want to listen to what this person said? Nobody. This person is sitting there trying to skillfully see if they can skillfully, gingerly walking on eggshells to make it seem like the past wasn't really what they said. Like maybe, well, it's this and it's that, not this and not that. But people don't want to believe that because people was like, wait a minute. You had me sitting here thinking the worst about somebody else when I could have been far and, with this other person, the person that I was supposed to be with. You had me thinking that I didn't need to be with that person. See, and somebody don't have no defense. There ain't shit that they can say. This is why somebody is getting karma for fucking with an earth angel. They getting karma for trying to knock you off balance. They're getting karma for lying on your name. They're getting karma for all that raw dog, untrue, lying ass shit that they did. They're hoping for this new opportunity to balance some shit out. because they know that you are in your coins, baby. It's raining down blessing on you, blessing after blessing after blessing. That's why somebody want this opportunity, because then they want you to be generous and say, "Oh yes, I forgive you." You know, even though you know the truth about why they even tried to cause you pain. They tried to cause you pain so that you wouldn't feel good about yourself. Who the fuck does that? Hey, Cynthia. Who does that? And why would they do that? Yep. See, now somebody realizes who they should have been pursuing, who they should have been trying to follow up after, and be just like was you. All right, y'all, I'm gonna leave it right there. Hey, straight cheese. Let's go ahead and swing the pendulum. Yeah, give me a minute. Swing the pendulum. I can shut it down because you already know who's going to give me 33 seconds and then come right back around here. What's the answer, Spirit? Which way is the pendulum going to swing? And it looks like it is a yes. Yep. This morning it is a yes. All right, y'all. Thank you so very much. I really do appreciate you all. I love you all. Thank you for hanging out with me this morning. Thank you for the comments. Latasha, once again, thank you so very much. I appreciate everything. All right, y'all. Have a wonderful Friday. I love you all. Bye now.